Really started with Jessica, and I listened to the story, what they've done, Jessica and her whole team, but what they still needed to do. And a little voice inside me said, I've got to help out. I think we're all here for a purpose, and I like to think making a difference, making the world a little bit better place. We need to really better recognize what's going on in our community, and we need to advocate for these children who are being abused and taken advantage of. So it's something I was drawn to and wanted to get involved. Change around this issue is positive. I'm going to give attribution to Jessica and her team, who I think have played a key role in raising awareness in our community that this exists. We need to not only raise awareness, we also need to come together to fight this situation. If I had one message to leave for the audience this evening, what I'd like them to take with them is the importance of this topic and the need for them to get involved. And it doesn't matter at what level, whether it's volunteering, whether it's their voice speaking out, whether it's financial support. This is something that needs our attention, and I think together we can make a significant positive difference.
HSI's role in the prevention of human trafficking lies in the fact that we are both an immigration and a customs authority. We're the agency that leads this effort for the United States government. We receive information in a number of ways. Obviously, there's always the anonymous tips, but we also develop leads during criminal investigations. Human trafficking task forces bring to the table a lot of expertise that is needed that is not readily available within the government. And that's when we talk about the NGOs. When it comes to providing treatment, when it comes to rescuing victims and helping them take that next step towards bettering their life. So bringing the expertise, the resources together gives everybody a better perspective. And it really, from the law enforcement side, it gives us a really, really good idea of how to better utilize the resources we do have. The agents that gravitate to this do it out of a sense of love and responsibility and dedication that is impossible to teach. Paul's dedication to this mission has nothing to do with anything this agency or any other agency has ever taught him, right? This is who he is as a human being. His personality is very similar to the agents that are working these types of cases. They're there for the victims. They always answer the phone. They know that anything can happen at any time, and they see themselves as the last line of defense. And more than anything, they want to be able to, look at somebody who's in danger, look at somebody who needs a little bit of help, and just lend a helping hand. And I think that's something that, again, that's who he is. That's how he was raised. That's how he lives his life. And he really is, an admirable person. And we're really, really proud to have him here in this office and to have him be part of the HSI family.
So when I was a prosecuting attorney, I ended up getting our county's first human trafficking case, and that was an eye-opening experience for me. It became more and more shocking how prevalent it was in our community. For instance, doing stings where law enforcement posts an ad on Backpage, the response was hundreds and hundreds of replies within hours. Once we started working cases and recovered victims, worked with survivors, the extreme trauma that they experienced was just unlike most other crimes that we dealt with. I knew we had to do better, and I knew we had to prioritize it. I've been on the ground doing trials, the first and biggest trials under the human trafficking law in Washington, working with survivors, really provide that insight to try and get them resources and get them out of the life. When I moved here and recognizing there's an extreme problem here, there's a need for a response, a coordinated effort, it's hard for me just to sit on the sidelines and not do anything. And I want to use that 10 years of experience to help in any way I can.
We formed the MacNaughton Group Foundation a couple years ago in order to create a platform which would be able to identify community issues that we have an interest in assisting.
Jessica invited us out to Pearl Haven, take a drive up to go see this property. And at the time, the building was completely full of debris, and the walls were covered with graffiti, and the windows were blown out. And we sat there, and they had some renderings of what they wanted to do with the building and the vision that they had. And I can tell you that it was deeply inspiring and very powerful. So it was pretty clear to us that we need to bring this to the MacNaughton Group Foundation as an area of focus and support.
We brought it to the board, and there was a unanimous approval. We need to do this. It's really important that we get involved in an issue of this importance in the community. I had a personal friend whose daughter got wrapped up in the trafficking here in Hawaii, and it made it personal for me to get involved.
I have 3 children. They're daughters. They're 15, 19, and 23. And again, I couldn't imagine having to go through something like this. And over the years, as they've grown up, we've dealt with broken arms, and we've taken them down to the emergency room where the doctors took care of them. And if they had cancer, there's a place we can go deal with that. But sometimes you don't really think about that until you need it. You know, if there was a situation where they might have gotten caught up in being exploited or trafficked, I would certainly have wanted a place to take them where they can recover, where they can heal, a safe place where they can gain trust again in the adults that are around them. You know, Jessica saw something happening in our community that wasn't right. She saw this and she took action, and she started learning more about it and diving into it and talking to people and turning over stones that a lot of people wouldn't want to turn over and look under. We need people like Jessica, and we need to support Hoʻōla Nā Pua and the special place that Pearl Haven will become. You know, we're really encouraged by the efforts by those that are working with Jessica to solve this problem. Many of the people probably are here in the audience tonight, but we have to keep working at it. There's so much more to do.
ICAC stands for Internet Crimes Against Children. It's part of the Criminal Justice Division.
And it's comprised of about 72 task forces across the country. And our primary purpose is to investigate technology-facilitated crimes against children, primarily sexual crimes. It happens here a lot. Operation Keiki Shield, which started in March. We've actually been planning it for the better part of a year, and that's primarily composed of 12 different law enforcement agencies across the islands, where we pose as minors online and we try to identify different individuals who want to have sex with minors. So to date, we've arrested about 18 people. It's very prevalent here, unfortunately. For Operation Keiki Shield, for example, I was pretty blown away at how quickly the various Johns responded to the social media ads that we put out there. In one case, from beginning of chat to arrest was actually about 25 minutes. So I think that definitely shows that people are not scared here of there being any consequences to their behavior online. I think something else that I would share with the community is that what a pedophile looks like is not what they imagine it would look like. It's actually usually the professional or kind of your average Joe, next door neighbor type person. So all of the arrests that we have had, with the exception of one, everybody's come out with a clean record. So these guys really are flying under the radar for years in some cases, and they've never been caught.
And I think it's very important for the community to understand that this is a hidden crime. It's not a crime that's obvious. And when you recognize the signs of trafficking, hopefully you can report it to law enforcement and thereby become the eyes of law enforcement. That's what law enforcement needs from the community.
I think that's the power of some of the tools that we bring to the table is we are going to get to the truth. So Lulu is an electronic detection canine. Her primary purpose is to find digital media, which is laptops, cell phones, thumb drives, SD cards, micro SD cards, basically anything that can hold photos or videos. There's this very specific chemical in the glue that she's looking for, which is how she's able to differentiate between different forms of media. So we primarily use her for child pornography warrants. She also doubles as a comfort dog for kids. So as the child is kind of working through the investigative and legal process, she's there to comfort. She knows over 50 different commands. I want the community to know that we're here to protect their kids, and we're only going to get bigger, and these guys are on notice. So, watch out, because we're going to come for you.